What's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? All right, how the heck are you guys today? Bitcoin trying to have a little bit of a rally this afternoon, huh? Bitcoin trying to rally. Look at that. We're at $116,450. Wow, we were down here this morning when we were filming our morning market overview. So Bitcoin topped out around $116,867 today. So far, anyways, trying to rally into tomorrow, which might actually be kind of a bad thing. And I say that because we don't want to see a rally into the rate cut, because then we're likely going to see a sell-off after the rate cut, right? We don't want to buy the rumor, sell the news event. We want to just kind of be choppy and sideways until afterwards, and then maybe have some pump action. That's what I would like to see, but I digress, right? All right, what do we got? Some super chats to get into. Brian, what's up, buddy? Good morning, Rob. Any thoughts on Tom Lee's BitMine as an alternative to Ethereum investments? Well, I covered that yesterday, and I agree with Tom Lee's concept that, you know, they say that because they're staking, it grows your holdings, but so does staking it yourself, right? And I know that, you know, BitMine and what's that other company I covered yesterday? They were staking Solana for their shareholders. You know, they all push the same narrative that you know, that it's just too much trouble to stake crypto yourself, when it's not. It's not really that much trouble to stake your own crypto. But what I would say, Brian, is that it is a hedge against risk, right? I would say, and there are benefits to it. So I do agree that it is a good idea for sure. And part of the risk management is that you don't have to custody your own Ethereum, right? So the chances of you getting hacked or having your Ethereum swiped from you in some way, it's next to none, right? So it is a good hedge against risk as well. But they do give you dividends as a result, right? Your holdings do grow. So all in all, I think that it's a net positive if I would have to pick, right? Big Kev, what's up, buddy? Good morning. The M2 at all-time highs today. What effect do you think they'll have on alt season? Well, I mean, yeah, eventually altcoin season will happen, right? I know, guys, I know there's a lot of content creators out there right now claiming that it's altcoin season and that we're about to take off. And we are likely about to take off, but it's not. It's an altcoin season, but it's not the altcoin season, right? That's the thing of it. Now, we saw an altcoin season back in December and January, but it wasn't the altcoin season. Altcoins had a nice rally. People have to understand that altcoins, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills or something, right? Because you see all of these content creators and stuff, and people are saying alt season's about to go parabolic. No, it's not. Bitcoin has to top before the true parabolic blow-off top altcoin season takes place. Bitcoin has not topped. And if you think that we are in the final stages of the blow-off top altcoin season right now, we're in the beginning of that, then that must mean that you think that the top of Bitcoin was $124,000. You can't have it both ways, right? So we're not in the parabolic phase of the altcoin season. Bitcoin dominance is starting to rise again, and that's because Bitcoin is primed and getting ready for its next leg up. I think its next leg up is probably going to land at somewhere around $135,000 on its next breakout. And altcoins might have a little bit of a correction when Bitcoin's doing that, but once Bitcoin gets to its new level of consolidation, let's say it goes up to 135, maybe it pulls back to 130, 131 and consolidates, that is where altcoins will start to rally. They'll start to melt their way up to catch up to Bitcoin's price action, right? So, so the M2 in saying that is more a reflection of Bitcoin getting ready to go, not the altcoins. Sorry guys, this cough is still here. Ramona, happy Tuesday, fam. Please hit the like button. Absolutely. Smash it, whack it, crack it. Do what you got to do, guys. What do we have anyways? We have 201 people watching, 203 people watching, sorry, and we have 60 likes. Let's get to 100, guys. We can do it. You can do it. Get your back into it. Let's go. All right, let's get into the chat a little bit here, see what everybody has to say. Paul, good to see you, buddy. Williams in the house. Beebs, my guy, supporting both channels, my dude. H. Barbarina in the house. Lord of the Realm. Quentin, what's going on, buddy? It's Yamadio. What's happening? What's up, y'all? Close the door. Close the windows. And hit the like button and subscribe. Isaac, first Pokemon of the day. What's happening, brother? Cat's in the house. What's going on? DH, yo, in the final phase of alt season, do people just long everything? Is it that easy? No. That is a common question I've been getting asked, but more about like the bear market. People have been asking me, should I just short everything when we're going down into a bear market? No, you should not, absolutely should not, because that is where the least amount of volume is and the least amount of liquidity. So it takes less money for market manipulators to manipulate the price of things, right? Therefore, once the shorts start to pile up, they'll pump the price of something and liquidate you and take your money, right? And it works the same way when everything's going parabolic. People think that, guys, listen, if you are one of the people who thinks that you can just long everything without any kind of strategy whatsoever in a parabolic phase of an altcoin season, and you're going to win that way, you will be one of the only people in a parabolic phase of an altcoin season that loses money trying to do that, right? There has to be education, strategy, and experience behind these moves. Absolutely, there has to be, right? Kay Lily's in the house. What's going on? Jared, have a blast on the swing. Having a blast on the swing tier. Coming for that top super chat status, so watch out. Let's go. We're waiting on it, brother. I'm waiting on it. Record still held by Andy, I believe, at $413, I think. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the swing. Our trading group has been just crushing it, guys. Just crushing it lately. I will be, by the way, I will be updating one of our swing trades today, and I will be putting a video out for the trading group on a new swing trade opportunity today. So if you want to get involved, guys, the link is in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the description. Kizza, what's up, man? Quiet on the live again. Where's everybody gone? Yeah, it was weird. Yesterday was like very talkative, very active, a lot of engagement. In both live streams at 1 p.m. and at 8 p.m. So yeah, we're starting to gain some momentum back. Meredith, my guy, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I swear Rob has the best soundtracks. That's right. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes, brother. Jesse and James, happy pre-FOMC meeting day, everyone. Let's get this cut and get that money. Absolutely. Strawberry Dragon in the house. Silver Sailor. Hola from warm and wet Panama. My guy. Phil, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. David, I mean, there could be a possibility that we still pump after the cut since we've been beaten down for so long. I hit Gary Daly. Nothing stopping you from holding ETH and being in Bitmine. Yeah, you can do both. You can do both, yeah. There she is. Gamma Goddess in the house. Let's continue to hold the line so we can get this money. Game cast. That little Nadex pump got me fired up. Yeah, Nadex is up almost 14% on the day. Very nice, very nice. I see people complain about Nadex price action when it's down, but I don't see anybody excited about it when it's up. It's weird how that works. Motives, 130K BTC by the end of the month. Let's go. What do you think the alt season, when do you think the alt season will start? The true altcoin season, not until after Bitcoin tops, probably not until sometime at the end of November, beginning of December. Sir Farmery, what's up? Knocking off projects at home today and enjoying getting my crypto degree from Mr. Rob himself. Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy portfolio. Let's go. Absolutely. Crypto J505, what's up, man? Chris, happy day before the beginning of ... Daryl, what's up, buddy? Happy Tuesday, everyone. Nice to see Nadix having a little pump. Absolutely. David, what's up, mate? Keep killing a homie. Absolutely, man. Danny's in the house. Ty is in the house. Danny says, eating a steak after work. Got to do a bit of work in an hour or so. There you go. Andy finally made a live. Usually a few minutes after they end. Nice. Good timing. You were on the TV, Wally. I'm on the TV, y'all. I ended up swapping my wife's stock to BMR after we talked about it, and it went up $8 per share. There you go, man. Boom. That's how babies are made, my friend. That is how babies are made. All right. Wow, we are already caught up in the chat. Jeez Louise. Okay, so let's get into the news a little bit then, guys. Let's see what's going on out there. Okay, first, let's see what we have. 217 people watching, 69 likes. Let's get to 100, guys. Let's get to 100. We can do it. Let's go. Let's get it. Right, let's go have a look at the news, see what's going on out there today. Quick shout out to the channel sponsor, Decent Biometric Wallet. You can swap, take profits, and even stake your crypto right on your Decent wallet. Use our link in the description and get yourself a 2-for-1 deal on the biometric wallet today, my friends. Right, let's check out Bitcoin dominance. What do you say? What do you know? Candyman, free marriage tip. Don't ask your wife when dinner will be ready while she's moving the lawn, while she's mowing the lawn. Yeah, not the best idea, huh? I think Vara Network team moved to Mars. Nice. Okay, so Bitcoin dominance. What do we have? Still working its way up. Seems to be meeting a little bit of resistance, but no doubt it will work its way up to the 60% level, in my opinion. Let's go check out what's the total 2 doing? Total 2. Oh, that's just the total. I said total 2. There we go. Yeah, so we broke out of the bull pennant. We dropped back below resistance, and we're sitting just a hair below. We're right on resistance at 1.66 trillion. Waiting for that move to continue its leg up. So total 2's looking good. What's the Russell doing? Just going sideways. Just kind of going sideways. Waiting for liftoff, guys, on the Russell. We're so close, guys. We're so close. Okay, let's get into some of the news. Let's see what's going on out there. U.S. stock market hits record high. Bitcoin set to follow. In a powerful show of market momentum, the U.S. stock market has hit another all-time high, continuing its upward trend, fueled by strong economic data. Corporate earnings and investor confidence, major indices like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are leading the charge, reflecting optimism across both tech and traditional sectors. This fresh high marks a continuation of a bullish cycle that has been building since 2024, driven by lower inflation rates, stable interest policies from the Fed, and resilient consumer spending. As traditional markets rally, attention is now turning towards the crypto market, especially Bitcoin. With stocks soaring, Bitcoin appears ready to follow suit. Historically, there's been a strong correlation between the broader market sentiment and Bitcoin's performance, especially during risk-on periods where investors look for higher return assets. Bitcoin has been consolidating just below key resistance levels, and analysts believe the positive macro environment combined with increased institutional flows could push Bitcoin towards a breakout. On-chain metrics also support the case. Exchange outflows are rising, long-term holders are accumulating, and derivatives markets show bullish positioning. If the trend continues, Bitcoin could soon retest its previous all-time highs or even set new ones. The current momentum in both equities and crypto suggests a growing appetite for risk and long-term growth investments. While the stock market continues to benefit from traditional economic tailwinds, Bitcoin's narrative as digital gold and a hedge against future monetary uncertainty remains strong. As investor sentiment turns increasingly bullish, we may be witnessing the start of a synchronized rally with Bitcoin closely tracking the stock market's historic climb. Stock market hit new all-time high. Let's go. Bitcoin is next. Spencer, what's up, buddy? Any thoughts on Bitcoin Core V30 off return and the knots gaining more momentum? Think it might affect price next month. Yes, it could. I do think that it could. To the positive. Milk Money, double the likes for double the gains. John, super fantastic. Blessings, my friend. Thank you so much. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, yes. This is hilarious. I had to show this, guys, okay? This is going to be funny for you. I'm not going to read this article, but I looked this up. So Peter Schiff, again, warning people about crypto, right? Peter Schiff, Fed rate cuts could spark Bitcoin trouble as gold rallies. Now, Peter Schiff has been trying for years to stop people from buying Bitcoin and have them flow their capital into gold because he's a gold maxi. He holds gold, so he wants you to pump his bags. So he's trying to FUD crypto as much as he can to get people to buy gold instead. So, funny story about that. I went ahead and I asked Grok. I said, Grok, how many times has Peter Schiff been wrong about crypto? And the answer was, Peter Schiff has been wrong about his crypto predictions countless times over the past 15 years. So he has been wrong about crypto so many times that even artificial intelligence cannot generate an answer, a number. That is how many times this gentleman has been incorrect about his calls when it comes to crypto. In no way, shape, or form should anything that Peter Schiff has to say about any kind of investment, whether it's gold, crypto, stocks, housing, or anything else, be taken with any measure of consideration or respect whatsoever. He is clearly biased. He has been wrong more times than even artificial intelligence can count. So yeah, I probably would not take financial advice from someone who has never gotten it right. So yeah, I just thought that was funny. So how can you be wrong that often and people still quote you? You know, he's wrong more often than Jim Cramer's wrong. Put it that way. Milk Money says, spending time at the Fiat Factory payday on Friday. Let's go. Mario, Senor Rob, is Besant rumor true that 25 basis points cuts confirmed? I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's like 100%. Internet is acting. Sorry about that if I glitched out a little bit. Peter is buying crypto with his gold. Yeah, 100%. All right, we got this from Pompliano. The Bitcoin bull market is not over, he says.
The president's son was on CNBC this morning talking about Bitcoin. But Eric Trump wasn't just talking. He was spreading the gospel of the digital currency. Take a listen to what Eric had to say.
But you're also seeing assets like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has become the modern day gold. People all over the world are pouring into it. Companies from Fortune 500s to a company like ours, to sovereign wealth funds, to the richest families on earth are all hoarding Bitcoin. It's become such an incredible asset. It's immediately liquid. It's probably the greatest hedge to real estate that there is, right? Because again, you have massive liquidity. It's all around the world. It's protected by kind of the greatest ecosystem of energy mining companies in the world that safeguard it. Bitcoin has become, I think, the truly greatest asset of our time.
Now, it's not every day that you hear someone with a direct line to the president say, Bitcoin has become the greatest asset of our time. Not only is that a big, bold statement, it sounds awesome, but the devil's in the details as always.
Awesome.
Daniel Pico points out that gold is outperforming Bitcoin so far in 2025. Gold's up 40%, Bitcoin's only up 22%. Now, some of you may be worried by that fact, but I wouldn't jump to conclusions yet. Gold outperformed earlier in the year. Bitcoin eventually caught up and then surpassed gold's performance near the summertime. And then gold recently recaptured the lead in recent weeks. Why does that happen? Well, it appears that gold has become a leading indicator for Bitcoin's performance. I shared this chart right here from Jack Green back in May. It shows that Bitcoin tends to break out and catch up to gold's performance on an approximately 100-day lag. So gold runs, and then Bitcoin waits about 3 months or so, and then it quickly follows. Given this dynamic, you can think of Bitcoin as a coiled spring right now. The digital currency is waiting to thrust itself higher. Because of this, Timothy Peterson shows that Bitcoin is having its worst bull market year ever. Oh no, it's only up 23%. Plenty of Bitcoiners are disappointed by this performance. Classic Bitcoiner mentality. Any other investor in the world would be ecstatic about the 23% annual return. But Bitcoiners are used to significantly higher returns in the past. They don't want tens of percent. They want hundreds of percent return, and they want it every single year. I wouldn't hold my breath for that level of performance though. Now, I personally do believe Bitcoin is going higher through the end of the year. We have the interest rate cuts that should occur this week, and that should bring cheap capital into assets like Bitcoin. But we also have analysts like Frank Fetter that's highlighting the Bitcoin MACD is showing green for the first time in weeks. Now, what's the Bitcoin MACD? It's the Bitcoin Moving Average Convergence Divergence metric. It is a momentum measurement that historically does a good job of showing when sentiment is flipping bullish. As the market becomes more excited, capital flows and Bitcoin goes higher. You don't have to overthink everything. Sometimes it really is just that simple. And lastly, Axel Adler, he points out the 3-year Bitcoin risk index is measuring 23% right now. The last time that index was so low for an extended period of time, we saw Bitcoin rise from below $30,000 per coin to nearly $60,000 per coin. That happened between September and December of 2023. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to double in price over the next 120 days. That'd be awesome if it did, but that's not what I'm saying. I do think, though, we are seeing numerous data points line up for Bitcoin to go higher in the coming weeks. The Bitcoin bull market is not over. The bears are wrong. Stop listening to them. There is still plenty of fun for people to have. Just don't expect this bull market to look like past ones.
It's not wrong. Bull run's not over, guys. Bears are wrong. Plain and simple. Okay, what else do we have? XRP ETF debuts this week through Rex Shares partnership. We were having a conversation about this the other day, this spot XRP ETFs. Investment company Rex Shares and Osprey Funds are launching an XRP ETF this week. In a post on X, the firm said, Rex Osprey XRP ETF with the ticker symbol XRPR is coming this week. The fund is different from other XRP ETF proposals that have been floated by other firms, as it is registered under the Investment Company Act of 1940. This is a federal law that regulates investment funds that pool capital from investors to pursue a common investment strategy. XRPR uses a similar legal structure as the Rex Osprey Sol staking ETF when it launched in June. The latest Rex Osprey ETF filings tracking XRP and Doge use some workarounds when compared to other XRP ETF proposals, said Bloomberg intelligence analyst James Seifert. The Ocean Spray XRP ETF will mostly hold XRP directly and will invest at least 40% of its assets into shares of other ETFs related to XRP. Meanwhile, a Doge ETF from Rex and Osprey was expected to start trading last week, but was ultimately pushed. Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric Balchinian said The Doge ETF could launch on Thursday. Dozens and dozens of proposals have been filed for several types of crypto ETFs over the past year. From ones tracking Doge to Litecoin to Solana, the SEC has taken a friendlier stance towards crypto industries, specifically towards crypto ETFs. In July, the agency voted to approve orders to allow in-kind creations and redemptions by authorized participants for crypto ETFs. The agency also then allowed applications looking to list and trade spot ETFs for Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as options on certain spot Bitcoin ETPs. During the Biden administration, the SEC greenlit spot Bitcoin ETFs and later Ethereum ETFs following a pivotal court ruling brought by Grayscale. So I like how they say that, and I like that they did bring in the end that it was actually a court, but they sit here and they say, during the Biden administration, the SEC greenlit a spot Bitcoin ETF. True. However, this part down here means that the Biden administration gets zero credit for the spot Bitcoin ETF because it took Grayscale filing a lawsuit against the SEC to finally get a judge to force the SEC to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. Therefore, since a judge had to force the issue because the administration at the time would not approve an ETF, they do not then get credit for approving the ETF. The court system does, right? I am Jasmy. We're all Jasmy. Rob the OG. What's the push-ups look like, brother? 50 push-ups. You're late. You know the rules. You know the rules. All right. What else do we have? Let's segue over to Squawk Box. See what's going on over there today. Eric Trump says crypto solves all the problems of modern-day finance.
Of crypto firms have hit the public markets this year, including one project from the Trump family, more than one actually, but this is one we haven't talked about. Eric Trump, co-founder and chief strategy officer of American Bitcoin, and Asher Gnuti, CEO of Hut 8 and executive chairman of American Bitcoin. Welcome to you both.
Thanks for having me.
Who wants to go slow? I mean, I understand Bitcoin. Is this basically a like a Bitcoin treasury company? Are you just betting on continued upward moves in Bitcoin?
Well, clearly we believe in Bitcoin, right? We think it's one of the great kind of generational assets. It's, gone up roughly 70% every year, for a 10-year period of time. It's incredible. But no, it's actually so much more because we actually mine the Bitcoin. We're mining it at about a 50% discount to the market value of Bitcoin right now. So every single day, as we're sitting here right now, we're sitting there mining Bitcoin. So we're one of the few companies that every single day we're mining it. We're also accumulating it. We're dollar cost averaging our Bitcoin holdings down, all while having an asset, as I said, that's outperformed generally every indice, every market around the world, and it's probably been the number one performing asset, of our time.
The mining operations you provided with your side of the, was it a SPAC? Was it a merger with a SPAC?
So Hut 8 was one of the earliest and largest Bitcoin mining companies. That's right. And so we carved off our Bitcoin mining business because we had more pressure to build data center infrastructure, energy infrastructure. So Hut 8 has a pure energy infrastructure business now, with the Bitcoin itself all being mined at American Bitcoin today.
This is not the first crypto investment from the Trump family. Can you explain the news that, Eric, that happened on Monday? That was pretty positive for the Witkoff family as well. And then we'll talk about all of this with the backdrop of having your father as president.
So Joe, you know better than anybody why we got into crypto, right? We were debanked by everybody. We were debanked by Capital One, by JP Morgan,
which has been admitted by certain.
Oh, of course. And by the way, it's really interesting.
And they were afraid of the Fed, I think.
They're all coming back, begging us to please open accounts. The Trump organization, please open accounts. And
Are you?
I never thought there'd be a time. Well, I mean, clearly you need conventional banking as well, but never did I think there was a time that such a great company, a great hospitality company that's been around for so long, so honest, so perfect, could get debanked by Wall Street. And we fell into crypto. We met some of the smartest people in the world. I met Asher because of it. Unbelievable what they've done at Hut 8, the growth of the company, the stock price, et cetera. And we got into this new world because we needed to find a new solution for modern day finance. And you start realizing how antiquated the banks are, how broken they are, how slow they are, how costly they are.
how ironic is it that the Democrats, more accurately the Biden administration, was so against crypto and at the same time so against Trump and tried to hurt him in his business by having banks debank him, forcing him into crypto, which changed Trump's view on crypto, which now is leading to the current administration doing the exact opposite of what the Biden administration wanted in the first place. So when you really, really think about it, this pro-crypto administration is all because of Biden attacking Trump financially, because Trump didn't like crypto before he knew anything about it. Biden forced him to learn about it, and now we have mass crypto adoption. So it kind of bit Biden in the ass doing what he was doing.
What do you still need them for? You say you do need traditional banking.
So Becky, in time, I actually think that there's nothing on the blockchain that can't be done better, faster, more transparently. You know, why is it if Laura and I go out to get a mortgage on a home, it takes us 120 days? Why is it that every week, Becky, I'm waiting at 5 o'clock to send out a Swift wire transfer. And if I don't get it out by 5, or if I don't receive it by 5, congratulations, somebody doesn't get it until the following Monday night or Tuesday. Our financial system is broken. And then, by the way, our financial system literally taxed 50% of the people in this country. And now they're making up for it. Now they're kind of reversing course.
But what eventually you don't think you'll need traditional banking for any of that, but you do need it now for some of those things still?
Well, listen, you need payment rails, and I think stablecoin and a lot of other things is obviously picking up the slack. I think you're going to see that in a very, very big way. And I just think you're going to see modernized finance, which turns into 24/7. But you're also seeing assets like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has become the modern day gold. People all over the world are pouring into it. Companies from Fortune 500s, a company like ours, to sovereign wealth funds, to the richest families on earth are all hoarding Bitcoin. It's become such an incredible asset. It's immediately liquid. It's probably the greatest hedge to real estate, that there is, right? Because again, you have massive liquidity. It's all around the world. It's protected by kind of the greatest ecosystem of energy mining companies in the world that safeguard it. Bitcoin has become, I think, the truly greatest asset of our time.
This is today, Eric. Two big deals entered, and I'm sure you hear about this all the time. You've got a way, obviously, of explaining that. I mean, you've thought about that when you talk to the president about this, or when Don talks about some of his investments, or with Mr. Witkoff as well. In this one, they're talking about the UAE investing some money at the same time that they were granted access to some chips. And not saying it's related, but it could be. You're going to see this again and again in mainstream media in terms of a conflict of interest between the president and his position and his family being able to do so well in crypto.
Yeah. Joe, how long have I been sitting at this table? Like 20-something years, meaning I've been doing this with you guys for a very long time.
Yep.
We're far from Hunter Biden, right? The guys out there selling.
That's what people are. Right. People say all presidents' sons do these things.
Okay. The guys out there selling finger art, right? I've run one of the great hospitality companies, anywhere in the world. We went through hell. Believe me, my father's the first guy who hasn't made money off of the presidency. In fact, if I were to send you a tally of our legal bills over the last
and the brand, the Trump
years.
Brand probably got obviously.
We've always been serial capitalists. We've always had companies, and honestly, crypto came out of a necessity that we were debanked by everybody, and we needed to find a new way. And so I couldn't be more proud of American Bitcoin. We're obviously ringing the bell right in this room, and a couple minutes, and it's going to be an amazing venture. I think we're going to do Bitcoin. I think we're going to do cryptocurrency better than anyone. We've truly built one of the great companies, one of the great crypto companies. And by the way, one thing, America's got to lead the way in it. I mean, I watch in Asia, I watch in the Middle East, I watch in all these places around the world. They are all sprinting toward cryptocurrency. And it was really nice. My father became a believer when he was debanked. And it's really nice to see a country take such an incredible initiative, and actually, because it is the future. I don't care what anybody says, it is the future. You fast forward 18 months, you fast forward 5 years, our financial markets and the way they operate, the speed at which they operate, the efficiency at which they operate, the pace, everything, the fees. I mean, it's going to transformationally change how we do business, and I am so proud of that.
The financial markets don't see the financial companies, the big financial companies, coming under a lot of pressure from this. If you look over the year to date, they're up 50% over the last year. Citigroup, JP Morgan's done very well, Wells Fargo, all the way through. with those big banks? You think there's room for everybody to play in this?
Yeah, let me maybe challenge you. Look at the amount of money that BlackRock's putting into cryptocurrency, right? Look at the amount of money, all of them. If you went back 12 months, not a single one of them was talking about treasuring any Bitcoin assets, any kind of crypto assets. Now all of a sudden Schwab's doing it and Fidelity's doing it.
But is there room for everybody? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, listen, I think the people who embrace it the quickest are going to win the race. And I think those that don't embrace it, you know what they're going to do? They're going to die a very slow and painful death. And you're already seeing that. Look at the success of Coinbase. I mean, look at their stock relative to everybody else, right? I mean, crypto is leading the way. It's what people want. It's an incredible generational play, but it also solves all the problems of modern day finance, which is the fact that it's lethargic, it's slow, it's costly. It's costly as hell. You know this better than anybody. I mean, it's inefficient. Look at your FX rates every single day, right? That all gets eliminated. And it's also really punitive because there's people at the other side, who will make the decision as to, Joe, you're not getting banked. You know why? Because you're a conservative. And so we're going to take away your bank accounts. We're going to destroy your business. We're going to take away your...
This is just a hypothetical thing.
It's not a hypothetical thing.
No, I mean about me being a conservative.
Well, it's very hypothetical, Joe. It's very
hypothetical.
Very hypothetical.
Exactly.
What else do we have? Tom Lee. Check it out, guys. Tom Lee predicts a monster Q4 rally for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum could be heading for a powerful surge in the following quarter of this year as monetary policy in the United States begins to loosen. According to Fundstrat co-founder and BitMine chair Tom Lee, speaking on CNBC Monday, Lee said, a mix of easing central bank policies, improving liquidity, and historically strong year-end seasonality could fuel a sharp move higher. Quote, I think they could make a monster move in the next 3 months. Hugely told the network, calling Bitcoin and Ethereum potential standout trades for the remainder of 2025. He expects the U.S. Federal Reserve to cut interest rates for the first time this year, creating fresh momentum for risk assets. It is crazy, that this month is going to be the first rate cut this year. This year has flown by, guys. My goodness. Lee likened the current environment to September 1998 when the Fed began cutting rates after a long pause, injecting confidence back into the markets. The Fed can actually re-inject confidence by saying, we're back into an easing cycle, he explained, adding that even a moderate rate reduction would bring a real improvement in liquidity. So if Powell even implies that they are starting an easing cycle, holy smokes, are markets going to respond? The U.S. Central Bank is widely expected to lower its benchmark rate by 25 basis points on Wednesday, while futures markets assign only a slim chance, around 4%, of a deeper 50 basis point cut. Lee believes any policy pivot will benefit Bitcoin in particular, given its reputation as a liquidity-sensitive asset. When asked if cryptocurrencies remain risk-on, Lee said Bitcoin is highly responsive to monetary policy, while Ether also reacts to liquidity shifts but offers additional growth angles. It is also part of the AI moving onto the blockchain, and Wall Street moving into the blockchain as well. Lee described Ether as almost trading like 1971 Wall Street when the dollar went off the gold standard, pointing to a rapid innovation and an expanding ecosystem. Ethereum essentially is a growth protocol, he noted, highlighting the convergence of artificial intelligence and blockchain technology as a key catalyst. Lee-led BitMine reported $10.77 billion in cash and crypto holdings, including 2.15 million Ethereum, worth about $9.7 billion, roughly 1.8% of ETH's total supply. Lee called this accumulation a response to a supercycle for Ethereum, driven by AI adoption and financial markets moving on-chain. At the time of writing, Ethereum is just above $4,500, down 2.7% on the day, but nearly 5% from the previous week. So Lee is anticipating a monster move through the next 3 months. D-Money, no, it does not seem like the M2 theory has fallen apart. There is an 80% correlation, which means that 20% of the time, Bitcoin is not going to be correlated. It will decouple, and then it recouples later. So to say that the M2 theory fell apart would be to imply that you were under the assumption there is a 100% correlation between the M2 and Bitcoin. He's basically saying ZBEC is the future. Yes, exactly. Interesting stuff. The only good thing, yeah, the irony, unbelievable. So yes, what do you guys think? A monster move for Bitcoin and Ethereum in the next quarter for crypto? Next 3 months, guys. Record gold prices due to a general uncertainty in all categories, says Ryan McIntyre.
Prices hitting another high yesterday and trading up once again this morning. You're now looking at gold at $3,730 an ounce. It's all coming as we were looking at a softer dollar and interest rates in focus ahead of the Fed meeting that starts today. Joining us right now is Ryan McIntyre, Sprott Senior Managing Partner. And Ryan, we're looking at gold prices up by more than 40% for the year to date. There are so many reasons that have been listed for these gains, but I don't want to lead the witness. Why do you think gold has been rallying like this?
Oh, well, good morning. Well, gold has been rallying for the last several years. I think we're starting on the back of central bank buying, which is about double the rate that the historical buying has been. And so to me, that was one of the sort of the leading indicators in terms of gold moving up. And it's really only been until kind of mid last year where you started to see institutions and retail investors get involved in the space. And so I think, and most recently, you're now talking about, Fed cuts and that type of thing. So there's a few different segments that led to gold price to where we are today.
Do you think it's related to concerns about inflation, concerns about geopolitics?
I think it's just general uncertainty in all categories, whether it's geopolitical uncertainty or economic uncertainty. And I think probably one of the big differences today is that it's at a much higher level of uncertainty, so much more on the sovereign level as much as it is on the corporate level, if not more. And that's definitely a change from the recent past.
How does Bitcoin challenge gold? Bitcoin, and I should say other currencies too, other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, well, in terms of, store of wealth, I mean, gold has traditionally been the king, so to speak. But you have also seen the emergence of Bitcoin in people's minds, in addition to maybe the Swiss franc and some other currencies and so forth. But I think, the differentiating factor between, Bitcoin and gold is I think, gold's got the history of being a great store of wealth over time, real proven in nature. And you also have the fact that it's a real asset, which I think, in today's environment, what people are looking for is something that's independent of other asset classes, but also independent of institutions. And gold is one of these things that's physical and real, and no one can just confiscate it from you.
How do you think the Fed's decision tomorrow could impact gold prices from here? And what are you expecting for the remainder of the year?
Yeah, so I think like most people, we're expecting a 25 basis point cut tomorrow. I think that'll be well received by the gold price. And, going forward, the market's sort of implying about 50 basis points of cuts for the remainder of the year. And I guess, from our point of view, these are very short-term nature in terms of thinking for gold. But to us, all neutral or positive here on out, whether it's 25 or 50 basis points, to us, it really doesn't matter. What matters the most to us is, I would say, the direction of where the Fed is going, post-Powell even. You've seen Stephen Mirren been appointed to the board yesterday. And, his mandate really is focused on, depreciating the dollar, much like Trump, not surprisingly. And so I think as long as we're directionally going in that way, gold should do very well.
Every administration's policy is to diminish the power of the dollar, not just Trump's, right? That's absurd. It's absurd. Carlos, no, I do not think that alt season is going to start in January or February. No. I think that I think Bitcoin tops near the end of November, maybe in December, and then altcoin season starts right then and there. It's not going to start in February. That's way too late. Way too late. So, All right, guys. So Bitcoin's still looking strong at $116,464. That would be a great close, but there's about 4 hours and 45 minutes left before this daily candle closes. I will be back at 8 p.m. Central tonight for another YouTube live stream. Make sure you guys are here for that. Right now, I got to get over to the Patreon. We have a group coaching call that we got to do over there. Guys, join our trading group today. We have been absolutely crushing it, whether you want to learn how to trade or you're a veteran and you want to trade with us. We have everyone from novices to veterans over there. Everyone's learning, everyone's trading, everyone is in profits. Check it out today, guys. The link is down below. Join us. Ditto, what's going on, buddy? Dave? Absolutely, brother. All right, guys. So I will see you guys over on the Patreon for the group coaching call. Get over there. Book yourself into a one-on-one, guys. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it, because I know you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.